In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission, to bring freedom to everyone involved.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm doing a thing for the podcast.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends Podcast.
Dude, is it... You ever read it where she like just kind of does one of these numbers?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Did it to me on a Friday once. Just like today. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
We're in kind of a circle. There's sticks in our hands.
Next time, ask her to do one of.
Oh, right? It's not a microphone, man. I don't want her to play Bop It on my schnutz. Twist it. Bop it. Pull it. What are we about to do, John?
Just that. We're about to masturbate, boys.
Yeah, we are. It's time for Freedom Friends Master Debate, solving the world's problems one mediocre topic at a time. It's actually not even one mediocre topic at a time. Usually how this works, Justin gives us a topic, we start talking about it for 30 seconds, and then we go on tangents about other shit, and it ends up with something else. But Justin was telling me that, what do you got going on today?
Well, this is how they usually try to have them go. Is instead of just yes or no, I want y'all's thoughts and opinions on it as to why.
Okay.
But so today, are y'all ready for the topic?
What you got for us?
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
All right. So the first question is: should people in jail be forced to work?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. If they are, to what point?
Hard labor. Big rocks
Death.
and little rocks.
Okay. Why is that?
Why not? You tell me why not, I'll tell you why.
Is this what you wanted?
No.
No.
I mean, that was 2 words, so I appreciate it.
No, in the actual prison system, I don't believe that forced labor in any way, whether it's paid or not unpaid.
Yeah.
I think work it could be used more as a privilege type thing.
I totally agree.
Like you're an upstanding prisoner.
Work makes time go by faster.
Yeah, but it gives you a
I
purpose.
don't want your
It gives
fucking
you-
time to go by faster.
No.
I want you to fucking sit and think about what you fucking done.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
but-
would you say that as a blanket statement for all offenders, or is that like at a certain level? Like the guy that got a speeding ticket and forgot his court date and shit. Like, is that
well,
dude
first of
just
all,
like
that guy shouldn't be
fucking-
in jail.
Well, and if he is, it's jail and not prison.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Like I believe that like hard labor, like manual labor, making
Yeah.
big rocks into little rocks, should be in certain prisons, and that is mandatory 100% every single person that's in there, and that is your life.
You're just a
And
fan
it
of the
is
chain
fucking
gang, huh?
Yep, and it is just
Well,
miserable.
We could quantify it with like, if you could have got the death penalty but didn't, your new reward is hard labor.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. Like if let's say they asked for the death penalty, like, you murdered a bunch of people and it was on the table and they were like, nope, we're gonna give them life without parole.
Yeah.
Well, now you just got a job doing fucking big rocks and little rocks.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
and it's crazy because all these environmentalists should be behind this theory. Instead of using these big, huge fucking excavators and trucks and all this shit, just send all the prisoners out there and
Yeah,
give
get a
them
workforce out there.
Give them a hammer and a pick.
Thing is, though, a lot of those guys that have done those crimes, do you want them having those kind of tools?
Oh yeah,
And if you're thinking that they wouldn't be that productive because they're prisoners and whatever, look what Germany accomplished.
okay, Kanye.
Here we go.
No, I'm just saying that was all slave labor though, and there's massively built fucking complexes that were built in a short amount of time.
I'll give you another
Like,
example.
You could actually make them do something productive.
Well, I mean, shit. Look at the pyramids.
Aqueducts.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Look
can
at-
go back in history to
Yeah.
fucking any major
Aqueducts,
structure that was
the
made.
pyramids. When I was in Thailand, I went on a tour. I wanted to go to the bridge over River Kwai. And I mean, I'd seen the movie; it's a classic, and I wanted to see that area, right? And if you're unfamiliar, it's during World War II. Basically, the Japanese used POWs to build this railroad through this fucking area called Hellfire Pass, and they carved like 100 feet on each side through a fucking mountain.
We did
with
that.
fucking hand tools.
We did that with Chinamen.
Yeah, but we paid them. Like they came over here to work.
I don't know if
I don't know if they made a lot of money.
I
But
don't
we
know
still
if the West was won by paying a lot of them that much.
They were compensated for their time. And I don't know if they came here to work.
No, they did. That's why they built the railroads. They came over here to build the railroads. We hired them. Like companies went to China and hired them. No, don't get me wrong. Was there probably some indentured servitude going on? Yeah, probably. People are dicks. Yeah. Who's to say what side of the fucking world that dickhead was on, though? I mean, it could have been a fucking, hey, we're going to pay you, rich Chinese guy. You're going to send your indentured servants to us. It could have been that. And like now we have their
But
debt.
I know it was more than just
something.
railroads. Like there's been some like large ranches in South Texas that actually we've all been to. And some of the levees on those ranches were built by the Chinese.
Yeah.
And they were paid. It wasn't
Yeah.
slave labor.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were paid, but this is also 100 something years ago.
Yeah, this is in the 1800s, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But still,
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
What's the TV series about the railroad? It's a HBO series, but it's pretty good. But they kind of cover how the railroad was made, and
I don't think I've seen that one.
it's
Hell on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels, really
Oh,
good
okay.
series, really good series.
Really?
If you haven't seen it, yeah,
Okay.
very good.
I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
It's not all about that.
It's
It
got
was-
really good reviews.
yeah, it's awesome
Yeah.
series. Yeah,
Okay. I'll check that out. Shit.
Yeah.
It'll give me and Haley something else to watch together.
the whole Chinese railroad building is like a very little part of it.
But still
Yeah,
a piece.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Pinkertons. Like you don't really realize exactly
That's
how
the-
long they've been.
they're in.
They're-
They're part of that series.
I believe they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because like, and they're still around.
Yeah,
Like the Pinkertons is still a detective agency. The Pinkertons, Jan Lee Detective Agency, both of them. Or that was like the competing like bounty hunters, basically. Shit, my buddy Mitch owns Jan Lee Detective Agency. Like, yeah, and he was like the Pinkertons fucking like competition back in the day. Like his great grandfather fucking started it.
nice.
Yeah. Like it's pretty wild. But yeah, that's as far as labor goes. Yeah, I think you should be made to think about what you've done. But I do like that
Well,
because if you're just never getting out,
I think like certain labor can be just like a reward type of thing. Like
Yeah.
you're able to go work to do whatever. But yeah, if it's why not?
yeah. Well, I think about like Shawshank Redemption, right?
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies ever made, right? Shout out Stephen King, fucking masterpiece. In that movie, there's a scene where they got to go, there was a crew of them that got to go and re-tar a roof, right? And one of them asked, like Andy Dufresne, the character in the movie, asked for beers if he basically saved this guard all this money from a fucking inheritance, right? And the whole premise was like working outside, you'd feel good with a bottle of suds.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a reward
Yeah.
to be there working with the boys, right? And having a beer on the fucking roof. That's a reward to me. You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing long, hard time. You know, like
There's a show on Paramount. I can't remember the fucking name of it, but they do that, but with firefighting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can't think of the
something
fucking
land.
Fireland. I don't know, but yeah. So essentially, they get they're violent offenders.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good
And,
one.
Fire
Like-
country.
Fire country. Yep. And so they go to fire camp, and that's their kind of like, but they fuck up, they get sent back to jail or prison.
yeah,
And they get paid like what, $12 a day or some shit.
This is, like nothing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do y'all think that they should be compensated when they're working?
Yeah, I think something small like that. That way they can go to commissary or whatever. And yeah, like they should-
Again, it depends on the fucking crime.
yeah, I agree with that.
Like if you're a child rapist, no, you sit in a fucking hole. I don't give a fuck about you. I
Mhm.
don't give a fuck that you can't get your goddamn ramen noodles. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck you. You know, but like if you're like in there for like, I fucking didn't file my taxes correctly.
Mhm.
Okay. Like, yeah, dude, give that guy some money to fucking
Mhm.
he's gonna get out someday and needs to have a skill. Got
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Because that's the other thing. Like, if they're gonna get out and rejoin society, I don't want them to be shitless lie about cons.
Yeah, it should
You know
be,
what I mean?
It
Like,
should be rehabilitation.
Yeah. I like the idea of them having some sort of skill or education or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's a good idea because there's still value in that person. They've paid their debt to society. There's still value. They can come to society and help, contribute.
Would you hire somebody freshly out of prison?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking would.
What would your
Because there's never been a person in a better position to redeem themselves.
But you're running a risk of like
True.
some people are irredeemable.
But
Warfighter's looking for somebody freshly out of Leavenworth.
when you-
We'll keep it
I mean,
military.
we have hired a felon in the past.
well, when you study,
It's true.
when you
hired before, but
when you study recidivism rates, and recidivism is basically that means like you got out and
Second
you went,
offenders.
and you came back in,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like you went back to prison or whatever. When you study those, it's a lot of the time it's because they can't find work is why they end up going back to
Yeah.
the fucking life.
Yeah.
And I think that if more people and more organizations and companies would just give the fucking guy a chance
Right.
or the girl, give them a fucking chance, right? Just be like, hey, look, I paid my debt to society. And granted, they got to nail that fucking interview. You know what I mean? Like there needs to be an interview process. And you're like, look, man, and be straight up with them.
Either that
But-
or you hire him as like, a low level and then make him earn.
well, sure.
you
You got
go
to start
out.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think it depends on the person too.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that their mindset isn't in it for, I'm okay. I've served my time. Now I'm going to be a productive member of society. They have a chip on their shoulder and they're like, I'm going to live my life how I want to live my life. And nobody's going to tell me anything, but I'm not going back to there. But any means possible.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to hire you.
Help me out. Help me out with the fucking stock movie,
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. Who's the guy that goes to jail?
Jordan
Jordan
Belfort.
Belfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hire him in a heartbeat.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
You just got to keep him under, like,
You just got to,
let's just try to do this legally, but I like your motivation and drive.
Have you guys seen Ant-Man?
Yeah.
With Paul Rudd?
I have not.
That's a good example. All right.
yeah.
He was a burglar.
hmm
All right. He ripped off a company, basically fucking burgled a company and got out of prison. Trying to get a job, master's degree, well educated, trying to get a job. Best he could do was Baskin Robbins because he lied on his application. They find out and fired him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That right there. That's a good example. I know it's Hollywood, but still, it's a good example. Like that, like if we give these guys a shot, these nonviolent offenders that just fucking did something like super white collar, what's the problem?
But
man?
I think
Like,
I would rather hire somebody that did something super white collar.
well, yeah.
You
Like
know,
I don't want somebody
like-
who was in there for like assault with a deadly weapon or some shit.
No. I
Like,
mean, like Wolf of Wall Street. Like that was super white collar.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm going to hire a really, really good bad guy.
Yeah.
And not a really low level bad guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
Sam Bankman-Fried might be looking for a job pretty soon, Scott.
I think it's the level.
but you Bo Bergdahl doesn't have a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the other?
You bring Bo Bergdahl in this building, I'm fucking him up. Just know that.
That's why he would bring him in here.
There'd be new wallpaper on that fucking side of the
Mhm. Nice mural.
Yeah. It's abstract.
Looks like Jackson Pollock came.
I mean, if Jackson Pollock was a 12 gauge.
Oh, so he 22'd himself. I don't know. It's a real problem in the community. Yeah, shit.
Also, I Googled it, and in 2022, the recidivism rates were 41%.
That's
Yeah.
lower than I thought they'd be. That's
Yeah,
not bad though.
fucking
4 out of 10 guys go back.
essentially. Yeah, and that's better than it used to be. Like I think that's gone down.
Well, look at all the new laws that they've passed where everyone just gets out on cashless.
Yeah,
pay
now
and
they
all
just
that
don't even
shit.
go to jail. So
No.
it's
True.
That's why the rate's lower.
Maybe.
It's so funny when and I've noticed it a lot with this administration the tweaking of numbers. I wouldn't say tweaking of numbers because they might be accurate numbers, but the skewed perception of what those numbers mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like just across the board. But one of the biggest ones is when they talk about the budget and the deficit.
Right.
We reduced the deficit by $1.6 trillion this year. Like, I want all the listeners to understand that that doesn't mean they reduced our debt.
Yeah.
They reduced the deficit on the balance sheet,
That's because
meaning we're still in the black.
Well, no, they
Excuse
still
me,
in the
we're
red.
still in the
no,
red.
they just moved the goalposts.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we reduced it by this much. It's like, yeah, because last year you spent fucking $47 trillion and this year you only spent $45 trillion.
No.
And you
This-
collected $14 billion.
This year, you agreed to move the debt ceiling
Right.
another couple fucking $1 trillion. Like it's easy.
But the deficit, that means absolutely nothing
Right.
against the debt the U.S. has. All that has to do is the difference of what they take in versus what they spend.
Yeah.
They're in a deficit.
Yeah.
So they're still spending more than they're taking in, but they just reduced how much they're spending over last year.
It's crazy.
Not,
like-
yeah.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much fucking money that really is. What was the seconds thing that we did?
Yeah.
Like $1
million
like 1 million
is like 12
seconds is
days.
like 11 days or something.
And then
$1 billion or 1
It's
billion
like 40
seconds is
something
like
years.
23
like-
years.
yeah, something like
A billion seconds is 11,574 days.
Yeah.
Hold on. 11,574. 31.7 years.
yeah. So what's a trillion seconds?
Sorry, I'm Googling as fast as I
Yeah,
can.
we're not doing that math.
All right.
Yeah.
My
Uh,
calculator doesn't go that high.
Fuck. This number's long. I'm having to see where they.
How many days?
115,000. Oh shit! No. Sorry. 1,157,407. Yeah.
Okay.
That's days.
Yes,
It's
days.
3,170.97 years.
That's 1 trillion seconds.
1 trillion seconds. We haven't been on this
Like-
earth.
Yeah. Society hasn't been around that long.
Well, since Jesus died. But
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Well, yeah.
I read that wrong. It's 11,574,074 days.
Hold on.
Just give them the numbers.
574
Yeah.
and
1,000.
7 days divided by 3.
74 days.
Close enough.
Yeah.
31,709 years.
31,000 years.
years.
So the
In
fucking
seconds.
so dinosaurs.
I don't know if dinosaurs.
No, they
are
were.
That's
around, man.
They were already
meteorite
gone, but like we were still recovering from that.
Yeah.
Then, right? Like
12,000 years ago is when they think that the meteorites hit.
But the dinosaurs died a lot longer
Yeah,
before then.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's like 50 million years ago.
This is when the dinosaurs lived.
Yeah.
12,000 years ago is when they think that like the whole world, whatever.
Like Chicxulub.
I don't know what that is.
That's the
It
meteorite
is
that
the-
killed everything.
No,
The precursor to Chick-fil-A.
So according
I mean,
according,
technically, yes.
according to USGS.gov, dinosaurs went extinct about 65 million years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're close. 31,000, you know. It's only a couple extra trillion seconds.
So you're saying 31,000 years ago? I
31,790.6
don't know why I heard million, but
years ago.
all right.
It's
Yeah,
a
I heard
fucking
million.
long time.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
1 trillion.
That's
that's
1
it.
trillion seconds.
That's 1 trillion
That's the
seconds.
difference.
It's
It,
31.
it literally goes from like 11 days,
$1 million is 11 days, I think.
and then 1 trillion is 31,000 years and change.
Years.
Like that's the difference. To just to illustrate the fucking huge difference between $1 million and $1 trillion.
Google this for me. How long does it take the U.S. Mint to mint $1 trillion? Like, how long do the printers have to run just to make that much money?
Well, I've seen the sheets that they come out on.
Yeah, it's probably pretty quick. It's not going to be hundreds of years.
You know what kills me about
So-
those sheets?
According to Business Insider, the U.S. Mint can make $1 trillion. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I read that wrong. Continue.
What kills me about those sheets is if you want to buy an uncirculated, uncut sheet of $100 bills, it costs more than the $100 bills on that sheet are.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like you figure it'd be a discount. Like I get half off because I can't use this.
Yeah. You guys don't even have to use the labor cost to cut the fucking things. What the fuck? What a racket.
Right.
Shipping's more expensive.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Senor Dave.
Senor Dave. Put him on fucking speakerphone.
No, don't do that.
So I'm having a problem finding how long it would take because everything's talking about this $1 trillion coin
Oh,
that could be minted within hours of an emergency decision.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just fucking collecting coins? Got my $1 trillion coin.
Yeah. Well, do $1 billion and see if it pulls up.
Gotcha.
I don't know, just the difference between a million and a trillion, or a billion and a trillion, is so fucking. And even a million to a billion is fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's funny that like everybody talks about Elon Musk. You know, he bought Twitter for $44 billion, right? He's already made that back. He made it back like the first month.
Yeah. I don't know.
like,
How does Twitter monetize? I don't know. Ads?
Yeah, and a bunch of their advertisers are coming
$8 at a
back now.
time.
Yeah.
$8 at a time. Fucking $8.
Yeah.
He recently put out a tweet saying thank you to all the advertisers currently returning to Twitter. So he's just back to making money.
Yep. Well, I like how they were all like, we're leaving Twitter. And they were like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
That picture of him and like 75 employees, and he's like 75 of us doing what fucking 275,100 or
Right.
7,500 did last week. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Mm. Why is whiskey so tasty?
I don't know. It's so good. Once it
It's
touches your
so
lips.
good, man.
Dave is freezing his ass off in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet he is.
What I miss? Anything fun?
Nope. I'm
Oh.
talking about how delicious whiskey tastes.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
It's so good.
So good.
Like, it's terrible how good it is.
It's funny. We Andrew's dad was at the house all weekend, and I have a little bar set up and whatnot on the bar. And when he got there and the flight was sucked and his back, he tweaked his back a couple weeks ago, and so he's like he's in pain. So I'm like, CBD freeze gel for my wellness, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
all the go-to
Yeah.
tricks. And he's like, I just need some liquid medication, and I was like,
I got that too.
I was like, oh, I need more information on that because I hook you up. I just don't know which way you want to go with that. And he's like, I just need some whiskey. And I'm like, fuck, here's a glass. I
Yeah.
was like, here's some ice and anything on the bar you need.
Help
He's like,
yourself.
he's like, well, I don't know, whatever the cheapest stuff is. And I look over at the bar and I was like, yeah, about that.
Fucking
I was like,
Jameson.
I was like, yeah, my lowest end right now on the bar is I got a bottle and a half of Jameson. And he's like, what? He's like, you don't have any? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's like,
no.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't keep that swill in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like drinking shit.
Yeah, dude. If I'm going to drink at home, I'm going to drink nice.
I was like, I think the least expensive bottle that I have, besides like flavored mixer bullshit, is like Deep 80s. I got a handle of Deep 80s.
Deep Eddie's whiskey?
No, lemon vodka.
Oh.
yeah.
If they made whiskey, I'd probably have it.
I don't know.
Deep Eddie's makes good vodka.
They do.
Like you did.
It's pretty decent.
You mix that with some sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking amazing.
But I got on another fucking gin and tonic kick.
Yeah.
God, I don't know.
I don't know how you do that during the winter.
It's so good. They're so good.
Like, that is a summertime drink for me.
I like.
What's your go-to gin?
Bombay Sapphire?
You like Bombay?
Yep. And
Bombay's
it
good.
has to be Schweppes tonic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Schweppes.
That's it. I can't do anything else. That's the only one I do.
Scott, I got an answer for you.
Okay.
Crisp.
So it would take about 2 weeks to print $1 trillion from the U.S. Mint. Yes,
That's pretty quick.
that's very quick.
Yeah, but our fucking dollar value would shit the bed.
Oh, fuck. Did you know
It would shit the
80%
bed.
of all currency in circulation has been printed in the last 8 months?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah, but they also destroy as much as they print.
They blow. They ship over to Iran
On pallets.
on pallets.
Literally on pallets. No, I like Hendrick's gin.
Do you also know that 80% of the U.S. currency has traces of cocaine on it?
No, it's like 80% of $20 bills have trace amounts of cocaine.
There's still substantial contamination of 80% of all U.S. currency with cocaine.
Really?
Yep.
How many?
And then there's a new study came out. Well, this is 2009. It's not new. But this one says up to 90% of U.S. paper money contains traces of cocaine.
I had a buddy of mine who kept he had a cocaine problem, but he kept an Iraqi Saddam dinar in his wallet just for those occasions. He only snorted cocaine with a Saddam dollar.
Very nice.
I respect
I was
that.
just like, all right, man, whatever. Like, I've never done cocaine, so I have no frame of reference for it.
Yeah.
I've just never done it.
I had a buddy that he would only do cocaine if he had a $100 bill,
Yeah,
because if you couldn't do it with a $100 bill, you couldn't afford to do cocaine.
it's a solid it's a solid point, man. Shit.
It's fair.
Granted, I also know a lot of cokeheads that are like, I'll do it off that fucking dirty fucking floor. I don't care.
Like, bro, let me borrow your car keys.
Yeah, right. Like,
Actually, this little pipe tool.
here's the fucking toilet paper dispenser in the bathroom.
You ever see somebody that has a necklace on with a little, like a miniature spoon on it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's for cocaine use.
I did have a follow-on question from what y'all were talking about hiring people out of jail or prison.
Yeah.
If you were going to hire someone with a criminal record, like what would y'all have like a special process of going through hiring them? Like, would you do something different as opposed to just hiring someone else?
I would ask them about it.
Yeah.
I would definitely have to get somebody drunk and hang out with them.
I think that'd probably be pretty fucking efficient.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way
That'd
to
be the
fucking
easiest way to figure it out.
Yeah.
get the info.
Mhm.
Because there's like,
What if you went to hire a guy and you're like, we need to go drinking, and he was like, I don't drink.
I want to hire him.
Yeah.
I have some friends.
agree.
I have a friend in Arizona. Who,
Well, I hired Dave.
He did some time in jail.
That doesn't count. You
Well,
already
it
knew,
does.
you already knew Dave.
Yeah, but I hired him initially and he didn't drink.
But he
He
worked
drank-
at the gun store?
I thought he drank when you guys met.
No, I've never known.
He's been sober
10 years.
it'd be 10 years.
It'd be 10 years next month.
Yeah.
10 years in January.
Sorry, what were you saying, John?
I got a buddy in Arizona, and he's a felon. He did some time in jail, and I didn't know.
Something tells me, John, you got a lot of those friends.
I got a couple of them. But this story is great though. So everyone, people call him Django, and he's a black dude, about my height, my build, and nicest guy in the world.
For those of you listening, that's about 6'1", 240.
Cigar smoker, whiskey connoisseur, like very knowledgeable, can hold a conversation about almost fucking anything, and not, like.
Now, none of us assumed that he couldn't, so I don't know why.
No,
you had to-
I'm prefacing this because
You fucking racist.
no, I'm prefacing this because I didn't know that he was a felon
right.
for I don't even know how long, the first however long that I knew him, and then I found out that he was a felon, and I was like, bro, you never told me you were in jail. He's like, oh, I wasn't, and I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I was in prison. I was like, oh.
Under that jail
I was
pussy
like,
shit.
okay. I was like, so how? And so I was being, joking. I'm like, so how long were you in prison for? He's like, 14 years. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wow.
I'm like, what'd you do? He's
Fuck,
like,
he did time.
I was like, what'd you do? He's like, murder. And I'm like, that's why they call you Django.
He did murder?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It was either, essentially what it came down to was either, it was him or the other guy. And he saw it coming before anything happened and took action, and he's still alive. And he's like, I was like, would you do it again? Because I'd do it every fucking day since. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, awesome. Like, let's go to the bar. Great dude. Like, never in a million years would you think like that dude spent 14 years in prison for
I
murder.
think though, like you have to own it. Like, yeah, I would kill him again. Like the only
Where's Gary when we need him?
the only people I would kill.
I totally pushed that guy down again.
The only people I would kill over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mikey, you're really thinking
I know.
about this.
Going over the list.
I'm just like
Yep.
the day, the evening you kill somebody, you start over with Groundhog's Day. That would be the best day ever because you could just get creative with it every day. Every day you can do something
You're just
different.
like stuck in this 24-hour
Yes.
loop.
It's like, it's like I shot him yesterday. Let's stab him today. Let's see what that's like. Let's fucking.
I'm gonna
Start getting
use-
elaborate with it.
Let's get some napalm.
It's like I have 23 hours and 15 minutes to figure out what I'm going to do
Yeah.
tomorrow.
like how do I rent a plane? And how do I get a hold of a
DB Cooper's ass.
hand grenade and like all this shit? It'd be fun.
God, that'd be. I'm having like fantasies
It'd be
right
like
now.
that show.
Yeah, I know, right?
It'd be like that show, 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah. That show was great.
Yeah.
Like that used to show like wacky shit, just crazy ways to die. Crazy ways. The fucking funny thing was that it was all real. It's how people had died.
Do you guys remember before the internet,
yeah.
the Faces of Death?
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
VHSs.
That was like everybody's first dead bodies. like,
yeah.
yeah.
There was some gruesome shit. And
Yeah.
then now that's
Yeah.
trending on YouTube.
Yeah. Fucking
So-
eat my breakfast watching that shit.
Was Faces of Death like literally people dying, or was it recreation stuff?
it was literal.
It was,
Yeah.
it was like
Shit.
videos of people dying, of
Yeah.
people getting
Damn.
murdered and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
That's metal as fuck.
It was very metal.
It was, yeah. I think I was like 13 or 14,
Yeah.
maybe even a little younger, maybe even 12.
Yeah.
The
it's like-
first
I was
time I watched
12 or
one of those.
13 when I first saw it.
And that was
Yeah.
one of those, like, you go home that night and you're just like, you don't
Yeah.
fall asleep and you're just like, oh, I don't know. This life is weird now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you remember when like the fucking that Daniel, whatever the fuck his name was, the journalist that got beheaded
Oh, yeah.
by fucking Al Qaeda?
Yeah. The first,
like the first one.
beheading video that went around.
That one was like,
And
fuck,
they're
dude.
sawing.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Because people don't realize it takes a lot to get through a head. To get
Especially,
through a neck.
especially with the fine cutlery that they use over
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah. They didn't have a samurai sword.
Yeah.
No, I swear they sharpened that on a rock.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think the first one I saw was when they fucking lit the dude on fire in the cage.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
fucked
that
up.
was
too.
fucked
was
up,
fucked
too.
up.
Fucking wild.
Yep.
Did you see the one where they ran over that dude with the tank?
Yeah.
No.
He just dove towards the tracks. Like he knew it was
yeah.
coming. He's
Yep.
like, fuck you, I'm going out. I'm going out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boop.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think I'd rather take that than like getting like the rest of my body run over and then just slowly fucking
Yeah.
going out. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, do the dome first.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew Marina got ran over by an Amtrak.
really?
Didn't get a fucking scratch on him.
I got ran over by
He was-
Bradley.
He was sleeping
So
in
did
the,
Scott.
He was sleeping fucking right in front of it.
So did Justin.
on the,
yeah, yeah.
on the
Basic
beach.
training.
He was sleeping right on the beach, and it fucking went right over him on the sand.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the fucking tracks went like over him, like between, like he was between the tracks,
Oh.
and but it sunk down and it just fucking rubbed his nose the whole way down.
Oh, fuck.
And he got up and it was like, "What the fuck?" And we were like, "Why the fuck were you there?" Yeah.
I could maybe see. Well, no, those things turn like fucking on a dime, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
if they
no.
had turned, he'd have died.
Yeah.
Real
Never
quick.
mind. I was gonna say like if he was on asphalt, I guess maybe I could see you sleeping under it. But then I was like, wait, nope, still
Mhm.
death, still death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking
I don't know if
crazy.
they did it when you went through, but I know like when Scott and I went through infantry basic
for
in the army.
AT4 training.
Yeah, it was AT4 training. You get in this little tiny fucking like 1.5 by 1.5 hole in the middle of this tank track that they run through the woods. And they get this Bradley that just does these fucking laps and they cycle guys in and out with a fucking AT4 and you duck down in it and this thing barrels over you and you got to pop up behind it and shoot it with your AT4 and then get out and the next guy gets in.
What?
Yeah. So you're sitting in
didn't
this
do that?
fucking hole.
No,
You
I
have,
never did that.
you're sitting in this hole. You have no idea when it's coming. And all of a sudden the whole ground starts to shake and like there's dirt falling in. And you're like, what the fuck? And it's like dark light. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Yeah, we
That's-
definitely didn't have that training.
That was one of the like, it was like, oh, this is going to be cool as fuck. And then you see it the first time and you're like, oh, I don't know about this.
I wonder when they quit doing that because I haven't even heard people talk about it for
No.
a long time.
No, when I went through AT4 training, we essentially were just at a range and they gave us.
Well, we did that too.
Yeah, that was our
The
AT4.
9mm tracers.
Yeah, we had the 9mm tracers.
That's all
and
I
then
ever shot.
One
Yeah,
guy
was the
got to
9mm.
shoot the live,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
But
I would love
got,
to find a
I
9
never got
mil.
to shoot an AT4.
That'd
I
be
would-
so
I would
much
buy
fun.
one.
Oh
Yeah.
god, that'd be so cool. I'd have to go hunting with that.
Yes.
I would. Like, I'm gonna take a hog with an
With an
AT4 with a 9mm tracer.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause remember those tracers? They're like this fucking long.
Not for the AT4.
No.
No, it's a 9mm.
Yeah,
It's
it's just a
literally
9 mil.
Oh, what was because there's a 9mm that's this fucking long.
Which finger?
Maybe that was the small. Is that for the small?
I don't know. The only time I've carried a small, I've never shot one.
It might be for the small because it's like pop, pop, pop. Like you shoot like 5 fucking shots,
Huh.
and then it's fucking then the fucking rocket.
Why would you shoot 5 shots?
It's an aiming shot.
What?
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
No.
Yeah, they got like fucking 9mm. They're like this fucking long.
Is that how a small actually works?
I think so. I don't know. I'm not a small gunner.
No,
I know we
no
had
idea.
them. I don't think we ever shot one.
No, it's just AT4s.
Yeah, but we had smalls the second
Yeah.
go around. And I don't think we ever.
It's either small or law. One of the two.
The small looks like an AT4. A law looks like a law.
I don't remember which one it is.
Was it skinny tube or fat tube?
Skinny tube.
That's a law.
It was a skinny tube. And it's like fucking, you sit your head in a fucking thing.
No.
Nope, that's not a law. Or a small.
Yeah, that's not a small either.
What am I fucking thinking
A
of?
javelin?
Javelin, maybe?
Maybe it's a javelin. That tracks.
Or Carl, no, because you got no thing. Carl Gustav is shoulder mounted, but you got to
But even a
load it on the back.
like I was a javelin trainer and there was no weird rounds you shot out of that.
What the fuck? Justin, give me some Google action.
Dude, I'm looking up 9mm tracers and I'm not seeing anything.
I'm fucking
bigger
trying.
Than
I don't think you were around for the dragon.
Yeah. What the fuck was that?
A toe?
Fucking maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything.
No, it's funny. Like looking back now, it's
not a toe.
Like in basic, like it was functional training.
Yeah.
But then it was like they put me in a fucking hole in the ground and drove a tank over me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking wild.
So my cousin's kid just got through infantry school.
They still do live fire at the end when you're the low crawl and they got the machine guns.
Yeah,
lighting up,
I think
tracers
so.
flying?
I'll talk to him at Christmas, but yeah, I don't know. Because he just graduated infantry school. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool to watch. Yeah.
It's a small.
Yeah.
Let me see this.
That's for the small.
I'd be curious to like see how different, like how much training has changed between when.
See, look at that thing.
Do you
That's
know?
the-
Because we had the small D's. We didn't have that.
Do you know like enter and clear trench? Battle
No,
drills never did that.
we never. I don't believe we ever
Yeah.
did trench
So
clearing.
we were talking last time Scott and I were at Fort Campbell. We were talking about all the battle drills that we used to train. That there was, I think at one point there was not a single person at Fort Campbell that did it because of the attrition rate and turnover rate and everybody getting out and getting in new guys, and they stopped training it. You know, we were at war for 20 plus years in an area where enter and clear trench wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
That's what we had a couple of. That's what we had.
but yeah, there's a bunch like enter and clear trench bunkers.
I've never seen that.
See the spotting rifle on the
Oh,
side?
okay, yep,
And it shoots
must have been hand me down stuff.
probably.
We had the small
that's the,
D.
That's the 9mm tracer for it. It's like this long.
Okay.
I'm going to send this to you so you can put it up on the thing.
But yeah, I was telling like Justin never did enter and clear trench.
Really?
Yeah, as a battle drill. We used to do that fucking every couple of weeks.
Hey, did you ever get a chance to see or use a Bangalore?
I've seen one. I've never abused
no.
it.
Oh my
the
God.
coolest fucking
They're
things in the world.
glorious.
I know we had the tubes.
Like we actually did a lot of live fire
Yeah.
enter and clear trenches. And so to get through the Constantine, like triple strand, they would put the fucking Bangalore torpedoes, they'd link them all together and it would blow that shit clean apart and just have a
The whole
fucking
fucking
walkway.
platoon would run right
Yeah.
through.
yeah. We never got to do that shit.
And they shook the fucking ground. They were awesome. Yeah.
My favorite with enter, clear, and trench, like I was at that time, I think when we first started doing that, I was a gunner, 240 gunner.
I was a gunner too.
And it was my favorite because you're on a support by fire line,
Yeah.
you know, a couple hundred yards away. And you see everybody getting, you know, because they enter a trench at one entry point and then they clear the trench the whole way. And the lead guy has a fucking chem light and on a stick sticking up off his helmet. And so you know where the front of the line is. And they always told us to stay, you know, X amount of feet off the front of them. And we always tried to get as close as we could. But then there were a couple of times at Campbell.
Well, we had our battalion, our battalion
Was it battalion or
headquarters
brigade?
was Mills Hall and Colonel Mills got shot on a live fire
A trench.
entering cleared
Yep.
trench.
I think he was a point man.
Fuck.
That was before I got there. But so I was also a 240 gunner for entering cleared trench, and that was right when we got PBS 14s.
Yeah.
And we had the great idea to mount them directly to the gun. And that's when they had the fucking shitty battery doors. So I'm shooting in the middle of the night, right? And the batteries fucking vibrated out and landed in my pile of brass at night.
Wow.
That was it was nice.
How'd you find him?
They were cold. They were the cold ones.
Fellas, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you in the dark while out, whether it was on mission or outside of mission, or like
Showing everybody my ninja skills in the woods because my entire fucking head got entangled and wrapped around by a spider web. And I'm trying to fight these fucking spiders off with night vision. And I have no idea where it's at or where it's coming from. So I'm in the middle of the woods fucking doing this number and everyone's like, bro, what the fuck?
I got
it's like somebody's doing ninja.
I got reminded of this story this weekend with Jim. Essentially, I was on Camp Fallujah, and I was on R&R for like the fucking night. Like,
Yeah.
you go out in the city for like a week, and then they give you like a day off, basically.
Right.
And I was back, and I went to go take a shower. So I'm in like shower shoes, green on green PT gear, like Silky's fucking t-shirt, and I got my fucking like I don't even have my weapon. I have nothing, right? It's my hygiene kit and shower shoes, and and my towels over my shoulder, and I'm walking, and I fucking walked into concertina wire because whoever fucking had put it up didn't put fucking chem lights on it, and I get stuck on all fours in like a bear crawl position in concertina wire in fucking flip flops and fucking silkies. And I'm like, fuck me. I can't stand up because I'm leaned all the way forward. I'm literally like in like a bear crawl position. And I'm like, fuck. And I see this guy walking. I'm like, hey man, I need help. And he's like, what? It was Army dude. And I was like, come here. And he's like,
As
what's
you're on all
up?
fours bent over.
And I'm like, hey man, like, can you help me out here? Like, get the fuck over here. And he's like, what's going on? And I was like, I'm stuck in concertina wire, bro. Obviously, I'm getting shredded right now. My legs are fucking bleeding. I can feel it. Like, I mean, it's stabbing me. I'm like, what the fuck? And he puts his rifle in it and starts moving it. And I'm like, don't do that. I'm like, you fuck. I'm like, and I can't see his rank, but he's a PFC. I'm fucking betting money he's a PFC. And I'm like, don't fucking do that. I'm like, dude, fucking step right here. Fucking stand on this. And he's like, okay. And he's like pushing shit down. And so I get an arm out. And I was like, all right, that's one arm. I was like, come around the other side. And he's like, and I'm like, just walk the fuck over here. And I was like, step right there. I was like, okay. And so I get both, and I was like, grab the fucking back of my shirt and pull. And he grabs the back of my shirt and pulls me up. And I was like, okay. Like, I'm just fucking shredded, man. My arms are shredded. My legs are shredded. I step out. I'm like, what the fuck? He's got his flashlight on it, like his red beam, so I can kind of see what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Do me a favor, and where were you? Like, what's the scene?
Yeah.
Are you on a
explain to me
base
how
or
you
no,
ran into
All right, so
concertina wire.
I'm on a fob.
Okay.
I'm on the fob. I'm walking from the tent city to like the little shower trailer.
Why was there concertina wire set up inside the
because Marines.
Because somebody probably wasn't that good at land now.
Because Marines. That's why. Like, I don't have an answer for
If
that.
you were on an Air Force base, there would have been lighting and a sidewalk and a.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
you would have been inside the whole time.
Oh, no, I was walking. I was walking through dirt to get there. like make no mistake. But yeah, I'm fucking shredded. So instead of going to shower, I fucking just walk straight to the doc's tent, to the medic tent, and I'm just like, I walk in there and they're like, "Fahey, what the fuck, man?" I'm like, dude, just fucking clean it up. And he's like, all right. So he's sitting there with like isotropic fucking like alcohol, just rubbing my legs down, and I'm fucking screaming and shit. He's rubbing my arms. I'm like, God damn it. I'm just ripped up. That was the worst thing that ever happened to me in the dirt, in like the dark. Like,
That sounds
sucks.
fucking terrible.
It was a nightmare.
I'm trying to remember. Were you there when we got thermosites for
I
the
thought I
first
lost
time?
a toe.
And we were out in the back 40 and the raccoons.
No. Yeah, that was probably when you were a scout.
That was probably when I was a scout.
Because we didn't have thermals.
So we just got these new thermosites for our sniper section, I think. And
It's weird
We're out-
flex.
we're out in the back 40 and we're set up and we're playing with them in the middle of the night. You know, we're all like still awake, but like getting ready to take turn with guard. And we see these raccoons And they are fucking crafty little bitches. They're like going into people's rocks, stealing shit. They
Dude,
don't
they
think,
have fucking thumbs.
but they don't think we can see them because it's dark and we have thermosights. So we had blank rounds and fucking
Cleaning rods.
cleaning rod sections. So we were killing raccoons.
That's
Fucking
awesome.
great.
That's awesome.
How far away were y'all?
From the raccoons,
Yeah.
me to this tripod.
So for those listening, 5 feet.
They came into our shit. They were like we were in a circle.
Coons in the
and,
wire.
and they were going through our rucksacks.
Easy Kanye.
They were going through our MRE trash. Yeah.
Holy
They just
shit.
knew, they knew we couldn't see them, but we could see them. It was fucking awesome.
They were like, they see in the dark now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
we were fucking football kicking them, and it was fucking great. Yeah.
That's wild.
That's fucking
I know
awesome.
my sister-in-law had called me a while back. This is a couple years ago. She was like, there's a raccoon in a trap in our backyard. I'd given my brother some traps, like regular old clamp traps, right?
yeah.
And he'd set one in his backyard and a fucking raccoon. He got a raccoon. And this is here in Shirts.
Right.
Right? Like this is here.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay. And she's like, Tony's already at work. Can you come over here and take care of it? And I'm like, yeah. So I grab like a 22 with some like
The whisper ones or whatever.
there was whisper ones and it may or may not have had an oil filter involved. and I go over there and it does nothing to this fucking raccoon. It does nothing to it except make it angry.
Yeah.
And finally I had to go full on like Walking Dead Negan on this fucking thing. I was like, go get me a fucking baseball bat. And I had to beat this fucking poor raccoon to death. It was the toughest fucking animal I've ever fought in my life.
I beat
And
her.
when I was done, I was like, this thing earned my respect.
Yeah.
I was like, this fucking thing earned my respect. I was
died
like,
honorably.
I'm gonna bury this thing. I buried it by hand and gave proper fucking like honor to this thing. This fucking raccoon was a G. Like this thing, this guy deserved.
we have a dumpster, right? I'm just saying.
This is before you lived here.
Yeah, okay.
This is before you moved here.
Before I lived.
You might have lived. I don't think we were doing the podcast yet. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah.
No.
Yep, that happened. And it was it was fucked, man. It was fucked.
Oh,
I had to go full on Negan.
I got another raccoon story. So I used to trap raccoons when I was in height. I was probably 14, 15.
They're tough as fuck, man.
Right. So I had the live traps, but we went and we'd go get the traps and bring them back, and I'd put them in the middle of I live out in the country, so the middle of the place, and I'd open them up, stand them upright, open them up, and let the raccoon crawl out and then shoot it.
Give it a chance,
Well, I didn't want to shoot my trap.
Mhm.
And so I'm doing the same thing, and I have a shotgun, I think. It might have been a single shot shotgun. And I open this trap, and it's angry, but it jumps out and it chases me. So I turn and I shoot and I miss because it's right there
With a shotgun?
with the shotgun. So then, but it's 2 feet away. So then I grab the fucking shotgun by the barrel and turn around and whack it with the fucking buttstock of the shotgun.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that raccoon was
These
pissed.
things are fucking crazy, dude.
Did that kill it or did the chase ensue?
No, well, that stunned it, and then I reloaded the shotgun, and yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the first one I couldn't believe I missed because I'm running, I'm laughing, I'm fucking like, oh god damn it, and turn around and boom, and then I missed. I'm like, fuck.
When I was in high school, a buddy of mine had a farm and they had a corn crib, and
Oh, those are the best.
so we might have had a couple cocktails. And then we'd go over there. He had one of the big ass 1,000,000 candlewatt spotlights you could plug into the truck.
Yeah.
And we'd pull up and we'd park. We shut the truck off and everyone would get out and we'd just sit there for like 15 minutes in pure silence. Nobody would say a word. Nobody would move. Nobody would do anything. And it'd be like 4 guys with shotguns and then one dude with the fucking spotlight. And then all of a sudden it'd be like 3, 2, 1. And he'd turn the spotlight on and we'd just start fucking unloading. There'd be so much smoke you couldn't even see through the light. The next morning we'd go out and we'd pick them all up.
trying to find when I fucking had to kill that fucking raccoon.
We had a hay barn, and so we'd go up in the hay barn. There was always raccoons and fucking shit we'd shoot up there.
So I learned something about Texas and hay barns.
Yeah.
It's not some place that you want to sit in to do like predator hunting, even though you can get up in the hay bales and it's a kind of overwatch position.
Right.
And it's because on the bottom and in between the hay bales, it's a little bit warmer and rattlesnakes like to hang out in there a lot.
Shit.
And so I was at a ranch and we set some pig carcasses out to bait in some predators one night. And in my mind, this is a perfect fucking deal.
Right.
Yeah.
We got overhead cover. This place has been here. There's, all traffic. Like it's a known thing that whatever, cool. This isn't a
used
threat.
to it.
Yeah. It's not a threat. So about 100 yards out in the middle of this field, I put a couple of pig carcasses and laid the guts out in the whole nine. It's primed for coyotes and shit.
Hell yeah.
And so we get back and it gets dark out and like, okay, where's everything set up at? And I'm like, well, we got this spot over here and you got this berm, blah, blah, blah. And showed and explained and sent that, those guys over to that place. And I was like, and then you guys are coming over with me. Luckily, one of these dudes is, he's well-versed in hunting in Texas. And he's like, where are we going? I'm like, oh, there's a hay barn over here. And we got about 100 yards out. There's these pigs and blah, blah, blah. We're just going to climb up and, get in the prone up there. And we got to overwatch in the whole nine. And he's just like, fuck no. I'm like, why not? I'm like, it's going to be great. He's like, I'm not going in that fucking hay barn. I'm like, why not? And it's not a barn. It's like a pole barn. It's got a roof and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like a carport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of the bales, you're probably 15, 20 feet up. So you can see this whole entire field.
Snakes?
Yeah. And he's like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, it's like 55, 60 degrees out. I'm like, there's no snakes. He's like, fuck you. And like adamant, like we pulled up, like, and
when it's cold out, that's where they're going to be.
I know. And then like when we pulled up and the more I started thinking about it, and I'm like, there's a group of trees over here. We can just go sit by them if you want.
One of the places I go hog hunting has a little platform like that. And it's only like 10 feet up. It's basically a deer stand without a deer stand.
Okay.
It's just a platform. And my buddy Doc Briggs, just all he wanted to do was get in a ghillie suit and lay up there. And I was like, you knock yourself the fuck out. And I was like, I'll be walking in.
Yeah.
I was like, you go right the fuck ahead and walk on and lay there, dude. Like, do you? Like, and he didn't do it, but he still wants to someday. Like, he wants to go there and just fucking like lay up on this platform in a ghillie suit and schwack hogs. And I was like, fucking Godspeed, buddy.
There's just easier ways to do it, but
Way
if that's
easier
what you
ways.
want to do, then go for it.
Yeah, like I would rather pull my truck up and just sit in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
With like I have that truck tent.
I can
Like-
in
It's like-
Texas, I can literally sit in a lawn chair with a Bluetooth speaker and a cooler of beer.
Yeah.
And I will still probably shoot hogs that night.
True.
Like
True. It's true. They do not give a fuck, man.
Nope.
They're crazy. I missed a coyote this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I gotta take the Scar to the range. It's shooting low. Like, so my windage is right. Like, it's right on.
You don't
fucking-
have it with you, do you?
No. No, it's at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I shot at a coyote probably 60 to 100 yards away, and it landed like it shot the dirt right in front of him, like directly under where I was aiming.
Yeah.
And it hit the dirt and sprayed him with dirt.
Huh.
And he fucking took off running, did a loop.
I said he's probably a revolution.
I was just going to say,
I probably it's probably right. Yeah.
revolution off in your scope.
Probably. And it fucking ran this way, and I shot it. He was running away from me directly in front, and I shot again, and his ass dropped. But I think that's because I hit dirt and it hit him in the ass. And
He's like, "Oh, shit."
He was like, oh shit, and just fucking kept booking. So yeah, I fucking missed him twice. I was mad as shit.
Yeah.
But I will tell you one thing.
Dude,
you guys are onto
actually,
something, shooting suppressed. It is so much nicer.
Oh yeah.
Have you zeroed since you put your can on that gun?
No.
That's
Oh,
why.
That's why. Yeah.
That's
that
why
it?
you're low. You're hanging weight off the end of the barrel,
Yeah.
and that's why you're low.
So I need to re-zero.
Yep,
with the can.
100%. Yep.
There you go, kids. That's what happens. Inexperience. I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Because the Scar's got a skinnier barrel too.
It
so
does. It's like
it
a
would-
pencil barrel on those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
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 And you got an 18-inch, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guarantee you that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get the 10-inch barrel for it.
We got to SBR it.
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I have to SBR it first.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm a law-abiding citizen,
All-
everybody.
All they need
Law-abiding
to do is
citizen.
prove intent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a law-abiding citizen. I won't even buy the fucking thing until I get it SBR'd. Yeah. So, anyways. So manual labor. See, that's what happens.
we talked about it for a good 20 minutes, and then this is what happens every debate. It just continues on.
Yeah, just
but
snowballs into shit.
in reality, the title of the debate is just what we're starting off with. It's not a guarantee
It's
that
very
this is
true.
the only thing
don't
we're
you-
talking about.
Just last week, what was it? And then it ended up we talked about how to light a cigar.
Which a bunch of people thoroughly enjoyed. That episode was greatly received.
Well, I mean, it's useful knowledge.
Mhm.
You know that the average Joe does not know, and anybody who's ever bummed a cigar off me and does not know how to light it, when I was in Roatan, I was fucking teaching a class basically about how to light a fucking cigar.
Yeah.
So
My favorite, it's like train the trainer in the army. Like I'll pick one guy out of the group and go down the rabbit hole with them. And then when the next guy walks up, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll have a cigar." I'm like, and I hand him a lighter and cutter, and like, "Well, I'm like, here, talk to him." He's like, I just told him he can tell you now. The guy's like, "Oh," and then by the end of the weekend, he's like, "Bro," he's like, "I've been telling everybody how to do this." I'm like, "Thanks."
yeah, thank you. Means I don't have to. It's true, man. It's true.
I think
Justin, what about you? What happened? What's the worst thing happened to you in the dark?
Ooh,
You met his brother, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Well, there was the time Mikey tried to kill me. It was dark then.
I didn't try to kill you. I accidentally almost
it's
killed
more
you.
like it was the time that Justin tried to die.
Yeah, like, I accidentally almost killed you. That's not the same thing.
Tomato.
A court,
Some say tomato.
a court of law would have been like there was no intent.
Okay.
It would have been manslaughter.
I got drunk and lost in Romania.
That's a great story. You've told me that story
Yeah,
before.
so
I think you told it on the show actually.
probably. But so we were in Romania for AT. It was the night before we were packing up and flying back. And we wanted to drink and we weren't allowed to drink. So what we did is we called a cab company and we was like, "Hey, we have all this fucking cash that we're not taking back with us. So we will give you all the cash we have if you just bring us fucking whatever alcohol you can get your hands on." Because we didn't fucking know what they had.
Yeah.
So this cab driver shows up and their beer comes in 2-liter bottles, which should have been a red flag from the rip. And so he shows up.
Or
we
a
give him-
fucking straight up green flag.
At that point, fucking none of us gave a
It's
shit.
a yellow flag.
Yeah. Could go either way. But so
I'd
we
have been
proceed.
like absinthe. I want absinthe.
Rocca.
But we found this little
I want to trip balls.
we found this old sheep shed that was like fucking half still standing up. We should not have been under that, but we're fucking drinking, getting shit faced. And it was I don't even remember. It was out of eyesight from where our little base thing was. So nobody could find us. So we go there drinking. We wrap up, we start walking back. I realized I left I was like my wallet or something.
His rifle.
Right.
Probably.
I left something, and so I walk back and I'm like trying not to fucking eat shit. And then all of a sudden I'm like looking down, and then I look up and I'm like, there should be a post, like a fucking base right there. There's not. And so I start looking around and I'm like, oh fuck, this isn't good. So I have no idea where I am in the middle of some field in fucking Romania, and we're leaving in like 4 hours. And so I'm like, fuck. And so eventually I just kind of like sat there and tried to listen, and then I heard a little something. I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk in that direction. I was proud of myself because I was not sober whatsoever, but I was cognizant enough to be like, we're loud
I'm
as
drunk,
fuck.
but I'm an infantryman. I'm drunk, but I'm an infantryman.
Yep. Remember my training.
Yeah. So
And that's when I let training take over.
I remember I got back, and I think it was my fucking my squad leader was there, and I like come walking in, and he's like, "Where'd you come from?" And I'm like, "The pisser." And he's like, go get in your fucking bunk. And I was like, Roger.
I mean, who hasn't gone through that mess?
Right.
Yeah.
Drunk in another country, and you're like, fuck, I don't know where I'm at. And I do not speak this language.
We got on the
Son of a
first
bitch.
deployment Scott and I were on, we were officially, unofficially allowed to drink
I love those.
for like probably the first like 6 months. And then one of our guys, O'Neill, decided that it would be a great idea to get one of the platoon leaders shit faced.
I was
And-
never officially allowed to drink, apparently.
Yeah. Well, we were. It was kind of like it was like it was still don't ask, don't tell around that time. So it was kind of the same with booze. Like, just don't be a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't flash it around. Don't
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it on your own. And
That's kind of how it was in
Don't be a
Fallujah with
fucking
us.
idiot,
Like,
you know?
our thing was, as long as Gunny got his cut, everything was fine.
well, and that's what one of the guys thought. Like, oh, I want to get the LTs in on this one. Like, blah blah blah. The LT fucking got lit.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Which LT?
It was
The one we fired?
no,
No.
I want to say it
This is
was
clearly one of the cool ones.
no. Well,
Tell me later.
I want to say it might have been like Parsons. It was from a different platoon.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't ours because ours was a piece of fucking shit. And we didn't have Lieutenant Dan at the time because he
Yeah.
would have fucking totally got shit faced with us. But it was from a different platoon, and he got fucking because we had that gut rot Iraqi whiskey,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and he had like I don't know 3 drinks and was
Sir Henry.
he was just stumbling all over the place, and then he ended up getting in trouble. Like he walked into one of the command tents. And it was just like, you fucking idiot. You know what I mean? So then the next morning it came down and like you could clearly see who was drinking the night before. You know what I mean? And so like they're walking around like inspecting everybody. And like, you have the guys that are like, not really looking. They're, and they're like, okay, you 6, come with me. Like,
Yep.
fuck.
Yep.
Hey, let's wrap this up real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO. That's sweet. That sweet 15% off. Of course, owellness.us for all those CBD treats and needs. Highly recommend that freeze gel. Go over there. Use that code FreedomFriends25. That gets you quarter off your order over there. And of course, our good friends at Icy Tech Coolers. Go to icytech.com for those who get it. Use that code FreedomFriends10. And that'll get you 10% off. Otherwise, 3 little things, boys.
Smoke on.
Drink on.
God damn it.
Freedom the fuck on.
Later.
See ya.